point line. As Coach Steve Alford has joined us here at courtside now as the Lobos go down to UNLV. And, Coach, it was the fact that UNLV jumped out to such an early start. It was very tough for New Mexico to pick it up.
Yeah, I thought our guys played with more energy tonight. That's something that we wanted to get back to doing, and I thought they had that. It's just, this is a very good basketball team. Our last two games have been against the two best teams in our league and on their floor, and we're not ready for this, obviously. We still got a lot of work to do, and I appreciate the guys, the effort that they gave. We turned the ball over too much. We turned it over 16 times in the first half. I think they had 20 more points off turnovers in the first half than what we did, and that was kind of the difference in the game in the first half. That was really the difference in the game, that they scored off turnovers and we weren't able to turn them over.
And the thing was that New Mexico turned the ball over so early in the ball game.
Yeah, we just couldn't get shots on goal. And anytime you're not getting shots on goal, you're not scoring, and that affects your defense. And I thought our turnovers really affected our defense. I thought when we got into our half-court defense, we weren't too bad. Still had a lot of breakdowns, but I thought it was much better. And we turned the ball over at such a high rate that affected what we were doing defensively.
Coach, I thought in the closing moments of the ball game, of course, UNLV had guys in off the bench and everything, but I thought your guys played a little more relaxed and made some shots.
Yeah, we challenged them the last 8 minutes of the game. We went with all of our young guys, and our young guys did a really good job. Doris and Jonathan played the game, start to finish, and I think both of them combined for 9 assists, 1 turnover. You take those guys out of the equation, and the rest of the team had 2 assists and 21 turnovers. So you got 2 freshmen playing in the best team's arena, and they find a way to go 9-1 assist-turnover ratio. And it's confusing from a coaching standpoint that your upperclassmen can't do that. And obviously this is a year where we rely heavily on our upperclassmen. We're not a deep team. We've only got 10 active guys, so those guys have got to play, and they've got to perform, and they've got to produce. And it was a tough night from that standpoint. But the last 8 minutes of the game, we gave them a challenge in that media timeout, and I think we won the last 8 minutes by 6 or 7. So that's something that we got to carry forward, and that challenge, and carry that forward into the Colorado State game. These are 2 pivotal home games. We have to win Tuesday, get this thing at 4-4 in the league, get to 17 wins. BYU and UNLV are the only 2 teams in our league that have more overall wins. So this could get us our 17th win, but more importantly, it gets us to 4-4 in the league so that we go into that midpoint right at 4-4. Now we try to do something in the second half of the Mountain West season.
Jonathan Wills came in tonight. I thought he looked more relaxed than some of your other guys did in that first half.
Well, Jonathan's got a great feel for the game, and I got to start getting him more minutes because I just love how he's got a great feel for the game. He works his tail off in practice. He's deserving of it, and that's the thing is guys that are playing in front of him don't produce. Then it gives a guy like him a chance to get more minutes, and I think he's deserving of the more minutes, and we got to make sure we're getting them to him.
Well, when you look at his stats, 7 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers, and a block shot in 23 minutes. That's not bad.
No, he does all those things, and he guards, and he listens, and he gives no excuses. He just goes out and plays the game, and he really's got a good feel and understanding of the game. So all those things warrant more minutes.
Well, the turnovers, I guess that one it comes down to just the turnovers early on.
Oh, there's no question. I think that was the difference in the game in the first half. We turned the ball over 16 times in the first 20 minutes. You're nearly averaging a turnover a minute, and we haven't had those issues much this year. But when we have had them, it obviously is very hard to get through that. We got to the free throw line. They're playing a very physical team. We out-rebounded them. We got 13 offensive rebounds. We didn't shoot the free throw very well, but we did get to the free throw line. But you can't have a 1-to-2 assist-turnover ratio. You try to get a 2-to-1. That's what they had. They had 20 assists, 9 turnovers. That's better than a 2-to-1 assist-turnover ratio. Ours was the opposite. 11 assists, 22 turnovers. That's a 1-to-2. That usually spells trouble.
Coach, did they overplay defensively? Do they play the passing lanes?
They get out, they overplay, which we were prepared for, and they do a lot of switching. They're very, very aggressive. I thought we relaxed a little bit and did a better job in the second half with our dribble drive and doing some better things that way. But obviously we were out of rhythm very early in this game in the first half.
We'll have more with Coach Steve Alford in a moment on the Lobo Basketball Network.
This Lobo Basketball, News Radio 770 KKOB.
Back once again at the Thomas and Mack Center. UNLV winning tonight 79-60 over the University of New Mexico. Coach, I believe you said when you sat down that you felt like your team had more energy tonight.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the guys' effort, and I told them that. Our effort was much better. It was more like we had all year long. This is just a better basketball team than we are, and we've talked about that before. Sometimes you got to take your hats off, and we're just not to the point yet. This is a team and a program that, you know, understands winning and understands winning in February and what it takes. And, you know, we haven't experienced that yet. We haven't got to that point yet. And we just got to continue to work, continue to teach, and let these guys know how important different phases of the game are. And tonight the glaring thing was taking care of the ball.
Wink Adams did his usual job for UNLV, but defensively you guys did a good job on Curtis Terry. He didn't score until the last minute or two of the game.
Yeah, but I think you saw Terry why he's so good. He has seven assists, 2 turnovers. Terry doesn't care if he scores, and that's a sign of a good player, a good teammate, somebody that understands. Some games it's about him scoring. Some games it's about him setting up other people and making sure guys like Wink get going. And I thought their bigs did a good job. I thought Shaw and Rougeau really hurt us. You know, our bigs are where we were most probably frustrated defensively was the job our bigs did.
Well, New Mexico tonight, other than the turnovers, and you came back in the second half, and I thought your team really still played hard.
No, they did. They did, Mike, and that's something I appreciate. And you know, I think, you know, we're getting everything we can, and the guys are working as hard as they can. Sometimes you just don't have enough, and tonight we didn't have enough, and then we turned the ball over too much, and that affected us. But they're giving us everything they got. This is a very, very pivotal game on Tuesday, so it's a very quick turnaround. We got to get ready. The coaches will be up most of the night looking at this tape, plus Colorado State, and we'll meet tomorrow afternoon when we get back, have a practice on Monday, and here we go on Tuesday. So it's a very pivotal game.
And it's an 8 o'clock start. We want to remind people of that. So
yeah, and it's a big game. You know, we're coming off 2 losses, so, you know, our guys' heads are down. We got to do a good job of coaches here in the next 48 hours of getting them built back up again and getting them some confidence going into this home game. And obviously that's where our fans can help us.
All right, Coach, thanks very much.
Thank you, Mike.
Coach Steve Alford, post-game show brought to you by Crystal Springs Bottled Water. It's that good. As UNLV knocks off New Mexico tonight 79-60 here at the Tarkanian Court at the Thomas and Mack Center. The Vaughn Company brings you the final attendance in tonight's game, 14,056 here at the Thomas and Mack. The Vaughn Company, your home team for New Mexico real estate. 14,056 here at the Thomas and Mack on the Pack the Mack night as UNLV scored early and kept New Mexico off balance with all the turnovers. UNLV winning 79-60. They led 40-20 at the half. That does it tonight. Thanks to Dr. Jay Blackman for being here, and for Warren Knuckles III for being our producer back at the station, Scott Stigler for doing the halftime, and Scott will be taking your telephone calls on the McDonald's Overtime Show. That's coming up on the mothership right after we sign off here from the Thomas and Mack Center. The Lobos will be home. They fly in tomorrow morning, get back into Albuquerque, and then on Tuesday night they will play Colorado State in the pit. Remember, that game time is 8 o'clock. Tip-off on the Lobo Basketball Network will be at 7:30. The final score, UNLV 79, New Mexico 60. Mike Roberts from the Thomas and Mack. Thanks for being with us tonight. So long, everybody. This is the Lobo Basketball Network.